meeting of the Common Council for November 21st, 2017. Please rise for a moment of silent prayer and reflection and pledge allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Over here. Clerk will call the roll.
President Justafano.
Present.
Donahue. Freeman.
Here.
Garriga.
Here.
Haddad.
Here.
Keith.
Here.
Mia.
Here.
Moore.
Here.
O'Hara.
Here.
Rector.
Here.
Scalera. I'm sorry, here.
Request a motion and a second to receive the call of the meeting and place it on file. Motion? Henry? Alexis? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Resolution number 1, approving proposed budget for the period January 1, 2017 through December 31st, 2017. May I have an introduction and a second, please? Mike, Alexis. Roll call vote.
I have a question.
Okay.
There was some conversation today about $100,000 that was set aside as a contingency against a lawsuit. What's the status of that?
As far as I know, Rick, did you have a question or did you have an answer?
It's a comment to Mr. Alderman Friedman's question. I think it's still in the budget, to my knowledge, and it's still earmarked for Proposition 1, to my knowledge. I understand, I heard Heather in a meeting last week say we should probably take it out. I would like to propose that the $100,000 remain in the budget, no alignment with Prop 1, but as a contingency, and we can have a conversation down the road about different ways to spend it. But to bring up things immediately tonight, as we saw in all the email about what we can or cannot do, I think is premature. I think we need time to digest some of these ideas, have a conversation about them, and it's certainly not saying that I don't disagree with part of it, but it's $100,000 that's earmarked. For that, I think we keep it as contingency and deal with it down the road.
I agree.
Well, I would have to agree as far as putting the $100,000 in a contingency account, but I would like us, to all agree on what is the purpose for the contingency account. And just as you stated, you didn't get a chance to read all the emails, and I think that you should, so you can see where we all are at, and to my belief, where we agree upon.
I've read, I have the gist of what was in the email said, and I think it's a conversation we can have, other than emails, which I'm not a believer in emails. And specifically as a council member, I think these conversations should be had publicly.
So let's have it publicly.
Thank you. Abdus?
I understand that it is completely result. Question was handicap, permanent handicap access rent that we are fighting for a long time, and we also agree all of them. But actually happens, how we finish it? I see the impasse in my a lot of resolution, a lot of putting in money. End up, we spend money, we did not finish it. We just spend the money. So if we want to exit that part, so I think so we should finish it out that project. I speak to Ms. Mahon. She's very much, I'm very glad discussion with her. I expect a couple of our colleagues. So we agree. You want to finish it, you want to finish it. If you not finish it, hanging and then put in money and adjust all kind of drawing, and we end up, we cannot finish it out. It's happened. Prayer to senior center was when it was a youth center, it's 83,000. We spend it. We don't do the water in the money. So she has no money. So and it was all the time, we say, oh, handicap, we have finished. But we don't know. She says, Abdus, if I have money, I'll be finished to buy this tree. I like the good idea. And I have another issue to talk about it. She says, oh, okay, low income housing. So she says, okay, I like both of them. I say, I'm very accept, and I think so. I discuss a lot of them. So I think so. This is the issue as well as moral. It's not. It should be not political part of this. I agree with you. I agree with you. We can discuss more. Fine. But if we agree, we can bring it next month. Okay, we can discuss open it. But one thing we have to have is that we should not look at this thing happen to bring that moral thing, when they can conflict each other and fighting, oh, it's not this way and that way. This is not a permanent handicap, is access for the whole world of the handicapped people, not only second one. So we're talking about that. And the other hand, low income housing in HUDSON is not these things happening. So question, I like to request that all of them, don't make any fighting or each other harder. This is moral thing. I like to do that. I want it.
Moral.
Okay. This is to help the people, help the handicapped people, help the poor people. Let's go. If you want to do the next one, fine. I don't have a problem. Yeah, let's work. This is the finish out. I want to do that. Thank you.
Thank you, Abdus. Henry?
Yeah, two-part question here. Heather, first to be addressed to you. When I was on the finance committee, I believe maybe it's different in the budgetary kind of constraints or arena, but can anything even be labeled as vaguely as contingency fund, or does it not need to be in some sort of, at least, I don't know, department, or a specific, I know that, let's say for the fire trucks, we had to have a specific account that this money was going to. Is it the same for this 100 grand, that this needs to be labeled relatively specifically?
No.
Okay. All right, so that's a more broad usage or ability to be used, or.
Well, yeah, so the way that it works in a contingency fund is the money is put there as a contingent. The money doesn't get taken out of, nonetheless, any monies need to be spent out of a budget line item, which means that any monies in the contingency, there would have to be a resolution to take some or all of those funds, apply it against a specific project via a BEA resolution, and then passed by the Common Council. Then it would get moved into a budgetary line item that can be spent against, and then the project or whatever could go forward.
Okay. Thank you very
Rick,
much.
did you have any
And,
oh,
no,
sorry.
I'm
Oh,
still-
it was two. Go ahead.
Yeah, since I was working all day, I didn't get a chance to, and just ran here to read the emails that you're referring to, but I'm going to step out on a limb and guess that some council members would like to see $100,000 be put towards, I think, Abdus, you said the handicapped ramp at the Promenade Hill.
Yeah,
And then I think I heard something about youth department, low-income housing, and that would be, how much?
It's
80 for the ramp and 20 for low.
80 for the ramp now, not the 20 that we were talking about in the past.
20 is what the initial ramp.
Is towards the amount for this permanent ramp. The 20,000 that was passed was allocated for a temporary ramp.
Right.
And the council was saying that they would like to see a more permanent ramp and what it would
Okay.
look like and the cost. And with that being said, the mayor had created a committee. We've been working on it for several months. We had Carol Osterink on it. We had Sarah Sterling, supervisor of the First Ward. We
Right.
had Sheena Salverio
Just
from
what was the-
HBC. We had myself. And we also had Ellen Thurston. And we had Miss Barbara, I forget her last name, but she's been coming in with different materials and samples.
Oh.
And we've been working on this project for several months, picking out what would be the least cost amount and what would have the same appearance as the historic preservation look as the park has with the
Alright.
original historic wall.
Well, I'm sorry to detract, you kind of took over there, I wanted to finish my point.
And so-
Right, well you didn't, but you kind of changed gears there. So our city is strapped. We all know that. I think we're doing better than we were. But to take $100,000 and put it towards those two things when we can't pick up our garbage, we can't put meters on a street that we were trying to put meters on for the last 5 years, it seems silly to, we have all these good ideas or have had these great ideas for the last few years and kept coming up with it, but we seem to detract when something new and flashy comes along.
I don't think the ramp is something new or flashy.
Well, we
This
could
is-
put $100,000 towards a debt service and potentially save money down the line.
There's plenty of things that the city
that's
can
like
do,
making money.
but, you know, the ramp is an issue that came up even last term and the terms before that. We still have senior citizens that's been waiting for them and even passed away and still waiting. We have people on this council that's been committed and have respect for people with disability and would like to see this done and accomplished.
I think, it doesn't really help the situation for you to try to retreat into these Hagueisms of, well, people have respect for old people or handicapped people. I think you can assume that all of us here have some respect for handicapped and elderly people. I think that the reason why the ramp has taken so long is because simply we're dealing with resources which by definition are limited.
But that's not the reason why the
Of course
ramp
it
is
is.
taking
Of
so long.
course
The
it
ramp
is.
took so long because we've been working on this project for months. That's why it took so long.
That's not that long.
It
It is not that long, excuse me,
is
but
that
it took
long.
us years to get to the point where we could even begin to build a police and courthouse.
Absolutely, and it took us years to get to this point for this ramp to be completed.
But in the year that it took essentially one alder person working with a couple of volunteers from outside to put together that project, that took years. And we're talking about less than a week and almost no conversation, in fact, zero conversation in public about this particular issue. We have a budget before us that is essentially $13,323.482, plus $100,000 for a potential litigation. I said 13 million, 423,000. 13,323,000, whatever.
Yes.
Okay. Now, that 100,000 can either go back into the general fund or we can allocate it in some different way. But there's no need for us, one, to do it today. And there's no need for us to agree on any aspect of it. This should be
I agree with
a
Rick
whole,
on that.
excuse me, I was speaking, but I let you speak, Tiffany. I'm pretty sure I waited till you were done. We have time. There is no reason to do this now, and there's no reason to limit ourselves in any manner about that now. Why this rush? Why this rush? The last time we did it, we stole $100,000 from the taxpayers. Now the magic number of 100,000 comes up, and what, people can't keep their fingers out of the cookie jar? It's not free money, and it's not found money.
No, it's
It
not.
didn't come from grandma for our birthdays. It's the people's money, not our money. And we didn't want to have to spend it on the litigation, and now luckily we don't. But that doesn't mean that it's burning a hole in our pocket, and we should think about what we want to do with all of our money. And some of our money needs to be held in abeyance for savings, for a rainy day.
Thank you. Rick?
And you
I
said
didn't
we
know
had
that
to see
there's-
this project completed, so we.
No one in this room is, with the exception of Alderman Garika, has even seen what the ramp's gonna look like. And again, we're back to what we
That is
went
not
through.
true. That is absolutely not true. I came here several times. Well, if you don't attend the meeting, that's not my problem. But I came here several times with
What meeting?
copies. I came here with big copies, and you all have access to come to the meetings that take place.
Yeah, I think I talked to
Okay,
Tiffany.
all right,
Please,
that's
let me finish.
ridiculous. That's just an excuse.
Raise your hand if you saw the
That's
ramp.
just an
The
excuse.
Common Council has not seen the
Raise your
ramp.
hand if you want to see a ramp.
The Common Council has not been presented the ramp. Historic Preservation Commission has not been presented with the ramp yet. The Common Council does not have a budget for the new ramp yet. These are three important elements. You may have had schematics, but we still don't know the materials, what they were going to be, to my knowledge. And this is what I've heard now for 2 months. The Historic Preservation is going to get a presentation, and then the Common Council. We've not had that. We've also told the budget's being worked out. We don't have a budget for the new ramp, in my opinion. So I'm not gonna sit here and vote on something that I don't know what it's gonna look like. I don't know how much it's really gonna cost. And it has nothing to do about me not wanting a ramp for the handicapped people. It's about trying to do this smart. And this has been going on for a couple of years. When we agreed to the $20,000 ramp that the Department of Public Works designed and said it's ugly. You know, this is what we approved. We said, can we do this better for the community of Hudson? I think that we've done that now. But no one's seen it. No one's agreed to it. And I think we need to see it. We need a budget for it.
Have you not showed anything to Rick Rector, Carol, or the mayor, or anyone?
I was told that I should not show, I mean, I've had them for months. I was told that I shouldn't, publish them on gossip, show them to anyone until, we were ready to do it.
And
So
my
I haven't.
second point, thank you, and my second point about what we're calling low-income housing, I spoke to Abdush yesterday, and I said, I would support a housing study for the needs of Hudson. Not just low-income housing, but all the housing needs. To know where we are immediately, what the immediate needs are, and what the long-term 5 to 10 years are. That's a project I think is well worth some money. We have 5 years ago, I think HDC did the same thing. But we should also possibly look into that, because people say we need low-income housing. That may be fine, but I don't, based upon just my gut, I could say we need more restaurants, as I told Mike the other night. But that's just my own head. So we could fund a study to show what our needs are going to be for 10 years. That would be money that's well
We had
spent.
a housing analysis done in 2012.
I said 5 years ago, I think was the last one.
You can get a copy of that, and we can move forward. We don't
Yes.
need to spend another $20,000 to have.
I don't know if it's gonna be
information.
20,000.
Abdush?
That's, I think so a lot of people did not know that about it, because 2010, this RAM is not coming today, not yesterday, not today. 2010, the city applied for the RAM for the street. 2010. We tried to put in another one. Don Moore was the president. He tried to go to the work for them and put in the money for fighting, but he says he was committed to us they put in making a state funding or something like that. Because we don't, maybe we can do it. It's not a yesterday matter. It's yesterday 6-7 years. So you tell me the yesterday is not the truth. My question is, if you think of the money. If somebody says, oh, you have no money all over there, money for the people. That's the handicapped people. Money for our resident, for the help the resident. What if we are do aldermen, making a street level good, work for the people? What is it we making it? Nice way, the work of everything is there.
Is that what you were doing last year when you wrote a check to Mr. Galway for $100K?
Yes, sir. Yes. Okay, now I know that. Now you tell me that this is the question was it. We are all the time fighting. If you don't think that it's not appropriate, take the money out. Tell the press that you do not want to support any handicapped people. Tell them all of them. Tell them that we do not want that.
Obviously, that becomes a
This is
fix.
nonsense.
That becomes
How? Why not you? Every time when it done that, you stop that anyhow.
If we're gonna put the money in a contingency account, then I would agree with that, and we can move forward. But if not, then we can hash this out all night.
What'd you say, Alexis? I didn't hear you.
Can we just agree to put this money aside and discuss it at a later time?
We don't need to set it aside.
have to set aside.
I mean, set a conversation
Contingency
aside, not the money.
account.
Excuse me,
Set
set a
this-
conversation, set a time to discuss a list of things and need, most important, a timeline, schedule, everything that we just discussed. We need to sit down and
No,
do that.
no.
We're gonna put the money in a
Money
contingency
put aside,
account.
Right, we got off track. We tried to get off track.
Make a motion that we put the money into the contingency fund
Account,
and discuss this at a later time.
It's already there.
Perfect. Great.
How is it there? if
This
it's
money
there
is
for the purpose of
already
I agree.
in
Prop one?
contingency.
So we vote on the budget then.
But it's labeled for Prop 1.
That's what we're here for.
And somewhere down the line, that could revert from Prop 1 to whatever project or projects the $100,000
So can
could
we
go towards.
remove the name of Prop 1 and it can be just 100,000 in the contingency?
Can I
That's
throw
not
a
the budget that went to a
No,
public
we
hearing.
have the budget before us that says Prop 1.
And we may
And
need it for
it
Prop
is
1.
in
Yeah, we
contingency.
might. You
Heather,
never know.
Heather, would you like to comment?
I would, just in terms, again, to talk about how the contingency works. It doesn't, the items that are listed in the contingency budgets are best guess estimates of things that may come down the line. Even if it's labeled as Prop 1, it doesn't mean that we can just take the money and spend it on Prop 1. It would still have to come as a budget amendment saying that this is the money that we need, and it would have to be approved. It doesn't
By
matter.
common council.
By the Common Council. It doesn't matter how the individual components that make up the contingents are labeled technically. They're there to give guidance in terms of what makes up the contingency because it's a pool of money. There's no reason to relabel it from Prop 1 to something else because until a budget amendment is brought forward, it could be brought forward for Prop 1, it could be brought forward for a grant, it could be brought forward for a housing study. Until that action happens, it doesn't matter how it's labeled in the contingency.
Last item. I believe
Goes
that,
ahead of him.
I believe that it will be not done in future at this council. I know that, this is happening. It will be not done then. Whatever you spend money is worthy for the rent. I believe that way. Because it will be now always making an obstacle. I don't think so, that's not a way to work. And I think so, if you done any project, you should done it, finish it out, and yeah, it will be expend less money. If you don't agree that we don't need it, take the money out. That's the way to do that. You don't expect it, tell them the people, we don't want it, take the money out. So if you want to believe that we need to done a handicap ramp, we should go forward, finish it up. That's the way to done that. So if not it happen, will be decades. I told you that a couple of weeks ago meeting, it will be not done 10 years. You will see that it is right. It will be happen. It's not going to happen. It will be never happen. This concept. I am telling you that will happen. You anyhow make an obstacle. Anyhow do this. It's not happening. It's not.
That's not fair.
Can I just interject?
That's David's stuff.
But it's just
This is to have echo Alderman Mia, in a way.
Okay.
Alderman Mia, you said that Don brought this up in 2010, I believe. Is
Not-
that correct?
Don asked Don more, and I have a record of the letter.
So this has been something that you've been discussing since 2010, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so if no one interrupts me for about 20 seconds here, that would be great. So Abdus, you have been involved in this since 2010, and you have done how much work in getting it progressed to this finished state in 6 years is embarrassing. And now Tiffany's taken a reign, and you're here pontificating about where to spend certain monies that you've been referring to. You haven't done crap in 6 years for this issue?
Okay.
Please,
Okay.
let's forget it and move on to something more important.
Okay. Whatever I done, you don't know anything about it.
I clearly don't, because you haven't done jack all in 6 years.
No. I done.
6 years.
They
you've
want
been
to put in a move this.
So you've done not a lot of work, and all of the people that pay our salaries, our minimal stipends,
So,
this is where it's going, to nothing.
you don't do nothing. You just give the people the handicap. You don't respect the handicapped people. The slap in face.
All right,
Yeah.
enough with the personal attacks here. The personal attacks are not necessary. We're here to vote on this budget. We've heard the concept of how this contingency works. We know that in order for, whether it's a bridge, a tunnel, or a ramp, that it's going to be coming before us to deal with. So, Alexis, would you like to
Just real
comment
quick,
more?
I don't feel comfortable being a part of a conversation where you talk about folks not respecting others' classifications. I think the city as a whole needs to look at the American Disabilities Act and things or other areas of the city that may need handicap accessibility. So this may turn into a bigger project than just the ramp. Not saying that it's not important, but there's more areas that we could include in this instead of just telling folks that they don't appreciate
Well,
other folks in our
absolutely agree
community.
with you, but
That's
if you
not
do
right.
check the emails, that is mentioned in the emails, so we need
But that
ramp
was
in
never
front of City
discussed
Hall
in
as
the
well.
email. But like they said, that wasn't discussed public and open, it was in an email. I didn't read
Well,
my
that
emails
happens
today.
yes,
But I'm going to speak
yes.
on the fact that I don't appreciate being a part of a conversation
Right.
where you disrespect people. Let's not do
No,
that.
it's not fair.
No, we
That's
don't,
not
we
fair.
don't wanna pass this.
No, I want to pass it. I want to
But
make
I
sure
think the
everybody
next
in
one
my
we
community
discuss.
is served.
Okay.
So that means everybody,
Okay,
whatever you are, however you come. That's how you're supposed to be served. So I don't appreciate the conversation where you're gonna tell me I don't appreciate people when I do.
okay.
So please, can we just tone it down and bring it back to the fact that we have more needs than just one in our community? Let's put them all on the table and get some resolution for all of it. If we have a surplus, if we have money to spend on that type of, environment, let's do it all over. Let's fix the sidewalks so we can have wheelchairs and everything else that goes along with that. Because you're using a word that could mean a lot of things.
We have a building
Let's not
right
do
here
that.
that's not handicap accessible.
That is in the email.
I know, that's
That
what I'm
is
saying.
in the email.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
all over.
This subject matter has been
We
coming
could
up
go
for
on and on
years.
about
We could.
deficiencies.
It has
but
been
we
coming
have-
up for
Give
years,
us facts.
but the only thing is
We-
certain
we
members
have-
of the council feels like
Call
other
the
things
question.
needs
What do I say? Call the
priority
question.
to. And children and seniors for several years, well, many years, have been getting the back burner.
Call the
That's
question.
just the way it is.
That's why the act was just 2016. There's a new act and there's new rules to follow and everyone has to be in compliance. So we have to work to
We're
get
being
into
hopeful.
compliance. We have to work ourselves to be compliant with the laws that are listed right now for us to follow.
Well put, Alex.
We had an introduction and a second
American
to,
Disabilities Act.
we
All
had,
the
we had a
things that you're supposed
we
to
had
have.
a
City never got
motion,
sued by them.
we
Not
had,
yet,
we
We're
had,
lucky.
but that was 2016. So we're moving forward in a good way. Let's keep it good. That's all.
thank you. We had an introduction for this budget. Can I have a second, please? No, you with first.
I don't want a second. No. We already had a vote.
Oh, okay, all right.
Let's take a vote.
Are we taking a vote?
Yes. Yeah.
Is everybody happy we're taking a vote?
Yes.
Roll call vote?
President
Are we finished
Designano.
discussing?
Aye.
Alderman Donahue.
Aye.
Friedman. Garriga.
I'm glad to see that finally we'll all be working together on a project that will support everyone in the
We should
city.
always be working on
Aye.
Haddad.
I assume you mean the budget,
Yes.
which isn't a project, so I don't know what the heck you just said, but I,
The budget has to do with all projects.
oh,
Mia.
boy, your vocabulary is.
Mia?
I'd like to say something that we every year we try to put in a budget money to the fighting, but I don't know, a lot of people did not disagree that, agree with me or something, or come and say it's short time at the discussion. We can do the increase such a discussion after 2 months, 3 months. If morally we agree that points. So until the discussion, I say I'm against the vote. No. Budget.
Just to confirm, you're voting nay on the budget?
Yes.
Thank you. Moore.
Yes.
O'Hara.
Yes.
Rector.
Yes.
Scalera. Aye. Carried.
Can I get a motion in a second to adjourn this meeting?
Motion to adjourn.
Henry, Priscilla. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, thank you.
O'Hara and